Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, it is Wednesday the 30th of March. I'm just getting ready to leave tomorrow morning for the South Florida drone meetup. So this is kind of a quick and dirty video, but yesterday a firmware and app update came about, the Fly app update and a firmware update for the Autel Evo Nano Plus. So I needed to get out here and make a video. So I'm out here today at Heroes Park. Normally I would have liked to have gone someplace a little more scenic, but there just wasn't time. So I've got my notes here on my phone and on a piece of paper here to tell you what this is all about. Now let's start with the app. So the new version of the Fly app is version 1.2.2, adds HDR video support and log mode for the Evo Nano Plus. That's this guy. And what we're going to check is that HDR video. We want to see how that looks. Added dynamic tracking for the Evo Lite. So I wish they had that for the Nano, but it's not there yet. It's supposed to have it, but it doesn't. So, you know, everybody giving DJI a hard time for their release on the Mavic 3, but they said that that stuff would be available. Well, it's all available now. This guy, they didn't say anything. You just don't have it on the drone. But I'm a big fan of this drone, that said. But it's interesting the way these rollouts work. So hopefully we'll get tracking for this guy soon. What else did we do here? So added Wi-Fi fast downloading, added online service request. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Histogram display, that's going to be handy. That's how you tell if you've got your EV set correctly, exposure value. And then it adds a deal where you can upgrade the batteries individually. Previously, you had to go through the whole upgrade process for the drone and everything on each battery. So now it looks like you can do the batteries one at a time. And it says bug fixes, hang on here, bug fixes and optimizations for the algorithm in portrait mode, which I never use, more accurate focus. Optimized camera setting UI, and then fixed the shot missing issue in burst mode. I didn't even know that that existed. So the main thing that I'm going to be looking at today is the HDR video, and let's just see how this drone flies. And I don't know if I said it earlier, but we've got some wind. It's about 9 mile-an-hour sustained, 18 mile-an-hour gusts, about 60 degrees. So the drone should be able to handle that just fine. And then, geez, I'm getting lost here. So let's talk about the firmware for the drone itself, and it's very similar. Added HDR video support and log mode for the Evo Nano Plus. Wi-Fi fast downloading. Added unlock no-fly zone application in China. That doesn't affect us at all. And then the ability to upgrade the batteries individually. And oh, here's something else. Optimized digital zoom performance to reduce the zoom response time and increase the smoothness. So we'll try that out. That should be interesting. And fixed the blinking issue in panorama mode on the Evo Nano Plus. And I don't know that I've seen that. So maybe we'll try that out as well. So you're going to look at this drone. You're going to see I've got a red battery in the back of it. This is the orange replacement drone that Autel sent me. And this battery is off that red one, the one that I had purchased initially. So that's why there's a red battery in the back there. So hey, enough jibber jabber. Let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Okay, the drone is telling me that it's safe to fly, but because we just did the firmware update, I'm going to do a compass calibration for sure. Something interesting that I've noticed here, previously you would get a lot of warnings before it was ready to fly about the gimbal calibrating itself. I'm not seeing that, so that's definitely an improvement right there. So let's go into compass and let's do a calibration. Okay, we had a successful calibration. That sideways calibration on this drone always throws me a little bit. So it says now initializing, so it's self-checking, and that's because I was spinning the drone around. So yeah, so now it's ready to go. So let's look at our video settings, and we're in 4K, and we're going to turn HDR on. Look at that. Well, why can't we do that? That button is not lit up. I wonder if I can't do it in 4K. Why isn't that HDR available? We did the update. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of this test. Yeah, now we're getting that gimbal self-checking, so I guess that's still there. Well, that's really throwing me here, folks. Let's go in here. Let's look at camera. Maybe there's some settings that I need to change. I'm going to format the card. That's probably always a good idea to do. Format successful. Gosh, guys, I don't know what's going on. So there you go, Autel. Yeah. Well, fun stuff. Well, we're just gonna test this guy out anyway, and maybe we can try out that panel mode and so forth. So, let's just take it for a flight and see what's going on. Well, that bums me out because it kind of defeats. Maybe I have to start it after I start video. So let's start video. So we're rolling on video now. Let's go ahead and take off, and I'll do that on the app here. We'll get a look at that. I always forget you got to slide it. I was waiting for the circle. I like the way the Autel spools up the engines. It does it slow. And you can see this guy kind of struggling with the wind. We got a pretty good breeze going here. And it's not going to let us get in too close. This one is, yeah, see, I'm pushing full forward and it won't let me come in. But I'm going to turn off obstacle avoidance for a second so we can bring it in. And we'll bring it into the camera here. Let you have a look at it. Let's rock it back and forth. See that gimbal in action. And that's working pretty good. I'm going to turn that back on, and it says it's turned on. So let's back it up a little. And let me, yeah, I guess, I see I can't even go into the menu when I'm recording. So I don't know what to say. Okay, I'm gonna stop video for a second. We're gonna go into that menu. We're gonna look HDR. No, it is. Oh, there we got it. Okay, it's on now. Yes, so I don't know what I did there. Maybe I just wasn't trying hard enough, guys. We got HDR video going. God, that's awesome. All right, I was concerned about that. So looks like we're good. Well, let's do our manual droning. Let's quit messing around here. Let me drop that gimbal down just a little. Reverse and up now. And up she goes. I can tell you it looks damn good on FPV. I can tell you that much for sure. And you know, this isn't the fastest drone in the world. I'm full stick up and back, and we're going up at 1.1 meters per second and back at about 2 meters per second. And that is in standard mode. And yeah, okay, let me pick that camera up. I'm going to kind of line up my grid lines on the horizon here. And that's looking pretty good. I mean, there may be just a hint of a tilt, but it's awful small, and we're in some windy conditions, so I'm not going to give it a hard time over that. So where I've been parking normally over there, you can see they're doing some work. So so I came over here under the canopy. But let's go to the flagpole here, and we'll do our. You know how I like to do a rotation around the flagpole. Let's do that. Let's get up close enough where we know we're not going to bug any of those guys. And you know, I'm looking at the flag. I mean, I'm feeling a pretty good breeze right here, but you're not seeing the flag move at all much. So let's go to the right. I'm always better, or excuse me, to the left. I'm always better at the rotations to the right. Ooh, I overdid that with the, and this is in standard mode. I'm not in film mode. But that's not bad. Doing that so that we can kind of look at the colors there. Kind of wanted to get the colors of the flag. I got a couple of beeps there for something. I'm not sure what. I'm picking that gimbal back up on purpose. And boy, we got some nice clouds, don't we? That looks really good. I mean, I'm telling you, if this video looks as good as it does on FPV, this is going to look really good. I mean, look at those clouds, and that folks, that's HDR for you. So yeah, I mean, everything looks, I'm seeing some pretty vibrant colors, and that's just looking at the FPV screen. So I can't wait to see what comes off of the card here. So kudos to Autel from what I'm seeing so far. And the drone is flying great. I mean, you know, I've been pretty hard on this drone, but I'll tell you what, it's performing just fine now. And I don't know how fast we were going there, but it was doing pretty good. Let's see if we can try out that zoom. I'm going to kind of center on off in the distance there. That is an LDS temple. I'm kind of putting my X on the spot there. And I'm going to touch here, and that should give me the zoom. Okay, what did I do wrong here? There's the zoom. No, that's, yeah, there's the zoom. Okay. So, gosh, sorry about that. Let's, I can't remember if this one, if you can zoom with the function button. Oh, no, that's just the gimbal. Yeah, okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I think you just can do it by the time. I get, you know, I fly the DJI drones, I get confused here. I was flying the Mavic 3 yesterday. So let's just do them one at a time, a step at a time. Let's go to 2 by zoom. And that looked really good. That looks pretty decent. And let's go to 4 by zoom. And let me pick up that gimbal just a tad. Yeah, it's not picking up the gimbal while I'm in zoom mode. So let's see if we can. I thought I could slide. I thought there was a slide on here on the screen, and I'm trying to touch the screen. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Oh, there it is. Okay, guys, I just had to hold the thing down. So let's go to 1 by. And I'm going to hold it down, and I can slide this. So there you go. And that's what they're saying that they smoothed out. And that is 16 by zoom. Let me move over here. Okay, and you know what? Look at how steady the drone is. I'm at 16 by zoom and you're not seeing that move around. That is awesome. So let's touch on that again. And there is 4. Let me see if I can do a smooth out to 1. Thing is, as soon as you let go, that dial disappears. And there's out to 1. Let's go back in again, because their whole point of this thing was trying to make it smoother. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, no, that's, I just keep thinking that there's a way to do it with the gimbal wheel. But I don't remember. You know, on a DJI drone, you hold the function button and you can scroll with the gimbal wheel. But anyway, I'm sure if I'm doing that wrong, somebody in the chat will tell me. It's been a while since I've flown this guy. So let's go back out to 1 by zoom. And let's take this guy out and fly it around. We're already down to 62% battery, so we better quit messing around. And we'll do a pano here at some point. And like I said, we got some wind, so this might be a good time to try out speed and so forth as well. You can see they're getting ready for soccer out here in the field. This place will be full of kids on the weekend. Okay, we're going to throw this guy into ludicrous mode. And yeah, 15 meters per second, so we're going to confirm. And I can't remember if I'm in speed mode or not, but it doesn't matter. We're kicking it full forward here. And let's go across the street. Let's go across the, I'm getting a warning for something. Let's tap on that and see. Maximum speed, yeah, okay. It warned me because I was at maximum speed, which, yeah, tells me that maybe I was in, not in the full speed mode. There's a video mode and a full speed mode in Ludicrous that you can select in the app, and I didn't want to stop and do that. So we're at about 12 meters per, 11.5 meters per second here. And I'm going to stand out here and make sure I'm pointed directly towards the drone with the controller. And yeah, we'll just kind of get out in the farmer's field here, and things are really starting to green up, and so get a look at this HDR video. Got excellent, excellent FPV. It is coming in really well here. What I see on the screen looks really good, so I'm hoping we'll get the same thing on. Okay, so I'm going to move around here slowly, and we're only 24 meters high, so you know, if you're going to lose signal, it's when you're low like this. And that's where I flew the Mavic 3 from the other day. I don't know if you guys saw me, watched my latest video. I was right there where those trucks are parked. And that's kind of a good place for truckers to park, and then they can go home and see their family and so forth and have a place to park their rig. Okay, let's move over this way. And you know, I don't remember this grass being as green the other day when I was here, so I'm thinking things are starting to green up. And man, I'm telling you, this drone is from a speed, ooh, geez, I over-yawed there. So what I had was FPV froze up on me, yeah, and I'm getting a warning, control warning on the screen. Yeah, yep. Yeah, so it says aircraft disconnected. Now, yeah, returning to home, and we already got it back. So what the issue is there, and we'll let it start to come back here till I know I got a good signal, and then I'll cancel. Now you have to understand, I was not very high off the, I'm trying to hit cancel here, and it won't do it. There we go. There, I got it to cancel. So had I been higher in the air, I'm quite sure that wouldn't have happened. And often when you change the angle of your of the antenna on the drone, as I was turning around there, that's often when you lose a connection. So I flew, just for the fun of it, I flew the Mavic 3 down this little ditch here the other day. Let's do the same with this guy. How much battery do we have? We're down to 34%, so we haven't got a lot of time, but we'll be okay. It'll come back to us. It'll go into return to home if it needs to. And we're still in ludicrous. Let's just go back to standard mode. And I think standard mode is going to be almost as high anyway. I'm going to drop down some more. I think with the, when I did this with the Mavic 3, I think I was about 10 meters high. So any of you guys that remember that video, you can compare this to it. This is a few days later, and I'd swear things were a little bit greener. That's me picking up the gimbal. Okay, we're down to 30% battery. I am going to, just for the fun of it, hit return to home on the controller. And let's see what this guy does. Yep, it's rising in altitude. And then it should turn around and come right back to us. And we'll see if we can get a, what kind of a precision landing we can get. There, it's turning around. And you know, I'm just thinking here, some of the things I haven't experimented with this drone. Can I yaw while it's in return to home? No, I can't. So it's just going to point straight home. But I can adjust the gimbal, lift the camera up. So it's going to cross the street here, and it'll cross right over the top of the, yeah, and it tells me that it's wanting to return home, and I'd acknowledge that. So you would think that it would know that it was returning home, and we didn't go over the top of those guys. We were right between them. I was watching that. Let's drop this gimbal down as we get here, and you can see me standing there next to the pad, and I was trying to make sure I was pointed at the drone, and it's right above us. I got the camera pointed straight down, so let's get a look and let's see if it'll if it can hit a landing. The grass is really short there, so I'm just going to let it land. No matter what it does, it's not going to hurt the drone. So let's see if it sees that pad and hits the pad. And it doesn't look like it's going to, but that's okay. It's not, that grass is pretty short where it's at, and it'll lift the camera before it comes down. Well, it's a little bit, yeah, there it lifted the camera. Let's see. Yeah, so it's in the grass. We mowed a little bit of grass there. And the cool thing about this drone is that it stops recording when it lands. Let me get everything shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion. Hey guys, the Autel Evo Nano Plus, we just did the firmware update and just came out to Heroes Park to check it out. I stumbled around a little bit getting HDR engaged. I'm telling you that little slider wasn't highlighted, and when I touched it, I couldn't get it to go over engage. I don't know what I did, but finally it worked once we had the drone taken off and I was able to turn on HDR, and that was the main thing I wanted to test. So, and again, that is firmware version 1.2.14. So we got to look at HDR. You guys will have seen it already. I haven't looked at it yet. I can tell you I was impressed with what I saw on the FPV screen. I had really good FPV with the drone. So I'm hoping that it looks as good on the SD card. It'll be fun to look at. So then the other thing that I looked at is that zoom capability. And so we took it over and looked over at the direction towards the LDS temple. It was something good to zoom in on there. And we took it clear up to 16 by zoom. I did finally stumble around and I figured out that slider. And one of the things they said is they smoothed that out. Well, I wasn't so smooth, but that could very well be operator error. And I didn't see on there how to do it with the scroll wheel. I thought that there was a way on this drone to do that. I'll have to go home and look it up and see if I can figure that out. And if you know how to do that in the comments, please let me know. Like I said, for instance, on a DJI drone, you simply hold down the function button and then you can zoom with the scroll wheel. Let's see, what else did they add here? We didn't check out the panorama blinking issue, nor Wi-Fi downloading. I always load it off the SD card on my computer, so that's not something that I mess around with. And the blinking issue in panorama mode, we didn't look at that, so I'm going to assume they fixed that. But here's what I want to say overall about this drone. They have done a really good job of fixing this guy up. I was pretty hard on this drone, initially, because there were some problems with shaking in the video and so forth. They've really corrected all that stuff, and even the obstacle avoidance on this guy, you saw it works perfectly. I had to disable it to bring it in. The OA on this one that I have right here works awesome. And then the speed-wise, this was a really windy day. I didn't feel like at any time that I had problems getting the drone to go where I wanted to go. These mini drones are only going to be so fast. Probably the best mini drone, probably for speed, is maybe the DJI Mini 2, because it can tilt up to 40 degrees. This guy will only pitch 30 degrees. The other one that's kind of a hot rod little mini drone is the FIMI X8 Mini. That one's a pretty quick little drone, but that doesn't mean that this is not good. I think it's fine. This is every bit as good as like the Xeno Mini Pro as far as speed and so forth, and every bit as good as the original DJI Mavic Mini. So just understand that your mini drone isn't going to fly like your Mavic 3 or your Evo 2 or something like that. It's not going to have that kind of power. But it does just fine. I mean, you saw me go in the field across the street and so forth. We had no issue. So yeah, that's about it. I had fun getting out here and trying out the new firmware. And yeah, this is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And by the time you see this video, I'll be in Florida at the South Florida Drone Meetup. I've got my Johnny Drone Flyer cap on today. And yeah, we will absolutely see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye now. The Autel Evo Nano Plus. See you guys later.